Hi guys, I'm Tracey Ward and this is my podcast. Welcome. So happy Monday everybody. First of all, I'll apologise in advance in case Harvey decides he's going to start sneezing again, which he normally tends to do when I start talking to you guys. I had the exciting upgrade of my mobile phone at the end of last week. I'm so glad we only have to do this once every 2 years. Oh my God. I don't know what the woman did in the store, but I've lost a lot of contacts and it took me all night to reset the password and things on the WordPress blog site and all that kind of thing. The air was blue in here Friday night, I'll have you know. So I think I've kind of ironed out all the little niggly bits left, but oh geez, I don't do technology, absolutely useless. Anyway, Harvey's just decided to jump off the sofa, so I expect there'll be some sneezing or some chasing of tails very shortly. So I've not made any notes this week, so this could be interesting. We'll get to see what I end up waffling on about. Today's title is Food for Thought, that I did write down. Our body is an amazing thing. It blows my mind when you actually sit and think about what it does and what it can do. I mean, if I said to you now, hold up your left hand, you'd be able to do it. I mean, you think, oh, what the hell is she doing? What's she telling me to hold left hand up for? But besides that, say you're being compliant and you'd be able to put your hand up in the air and without even think about it. I mean, how does that work? I'm going to sound a bit like Carl Pilkington now, but it seriously does blow my mind how it works. It amazes me how it works after what we do to it as well. I mean, we seriously bombard our body with so much shit and stresses and stuff, yet we're still going, we're still managing to get to what, average age of 80, is it? God knows how we managed to get that far in life with the stuff that we put in our bodies. But I mean, animals, you never see them getting overweight. They're not born with instructions, or like we're not born with instructions. I suppose the only animal that you see overweight is Labradors, isn't it? I mean, they just eat non-stop if you could let them. A bit like me. Maybe I was a Labrador in a past life, I don't know, but here we go. But we constantly eat processed foods, and we're just bombarding our bodies full of artificial ingredients and chemicals, and then we wonder why our health suffers. I mean, it's ridiculous. We should be eating natural foods. I mean, you think about it, like animals, they don't know what to do instinctively. They don't have supermarkets and microwaves and stuff like that. They eat what is natural to them and they just do it. And that's what we should be doing, but we don't. We just bombard our bodies with all this toxic stuff that it really doesn't need and it doesn't like. You know, you should be eating, there's a lot to say for natural foods. I mean, think about in my grandparents' that era. I mean, you grew a lot of your own food. I mean, my granddad had a huge, massive vegetable garden, and it was absolutely huge. And people they just ate veg, they ate meat, they ate fruit, and there was no pizzas or rubbish like that. I mean, monosodium glutamate. I mean, what the chuff is that? But we chuck it in everything, and it's not good for you. None of this stuff's good for you, but we still do it. I think as a species, we're quite disappointing, really. We're supposed to be intelligent, but we just let ourselves get carried away with all the advertising, and we just we don't listen to ourselves. We don't listen to our own bodies. We listen to what we think are the experts, the foods we should be eating, the main foods that we should be eating, and it is so simple, is food that we either can grow or food that lives, as in animal products. Obviously, if you're a vegetarian. But I do think that as a species, as I said, I think we are disappointing. I'm disappointed in us. I think there's not a lot of us out there, or a lot of people I've met who I can say were intelligent. It's just the blind leading the blind, I think, at the minute. I mean, look at war. I mean, we've made nuclear weapons that are capable of destroying the planet 100 times over. Why? Why did we do that? Why do we make these things? To prevent war. That is why they were invented. Well, that worked, didn't it? No. How much money has these governments spent on weapons, nuclear weapons, all those kinds of things? It must be trillions and trillions every year. Things that we're not going to use just to stop war, but we're not stopping war. This is each and every year. So why isn't there money being spent on these things that can destroy the world, not be used for people that are starving, people that are homeless, people that are dying? You know, this money could make this world such a better place. But we don't. We just keep making more and more weapons, having more and more wars. We need to make this world a better place, and we need to start now. I mean, look at pollution. We're killing this planet. We're raping it. We're just absolutely destroying it. And fracking, I mean, what's that all about? I mean, the fracking, I know it's on the news this weekend, the past couple of days, how they've had to stop because of earthquakes and things. I mean, what are we doing to this planet? The pollution in the seas. I mean, they're finding plastic inside not just the fish and other animals, but inside us as well. Mental health has skyrocketed. Everything is going tits up. It's become a materialistic world, a celebrity-driven world. People don't aspire to be anything these days apart from a celebrity. I mean, what kind of generation are we bringing up? I mean, we caused this. We taught them to be this way. No offence, Kim Kardashian, but what is she doing? You know, why? I don't know. I just don't understand it. Probably that's a good thing. I just don't understand wars, and they seem to be just about religion, and it's this power thing. I mean, what happened to love? I mean, I don't want to sound like John Lennon now, but isn't life about love, unconditional love, and helping each and every single one of us? Not just ourselves. It doesn't matter what colour, what race, what age, what gender. Can you imagine if all this changed overnight and you woke up in the morning and there was no more war, no more weapons, no more armies, possibly no more religion? What kind of world would we be living in? Personally, I think it'd be a damn sight better than what it is now. I mean, I was in the supermarket today and I was just looking around at stuff, and I went down like the medicine aisle, and there's like baby milk formula and stuff like that. I'm thinking, lack of proper food starts from the day you are born. Breastfeeding is the most natural thing in the world, and I know some people don't get on with it. I know, I've had 3 children myself. I know what it's like. But we have breasts to feed our babies. I mean, cavemen didn't have formula. So what are we doing? Like, these babies are born and we're just like, I don't know, we'll give it a couple of weeks, didn't work out. So I know, let's just stuff the baby full of formula. Might be a bit controversial, but I'm just thinking from like right at the beginning, we're not giving them the right thing that they need to grow and to develop. It's the most natural product, and it is what the baby was intended to live on. This isn't a go at breastfeeding, by the way. I'm just saying that. What I'm saying is about how we don't feed our bodies the way they're supposed to be fed. That's what I'm saying with this. I'm not going against people who don't breastfeed or people that do, before anybody says anything. I've done both. What I'm saying is, this is an example of how we don't listen to our bodies and we don't look after them the way we're supposed to, and don't fuel them the way we're supposed to. I mean, we're giving babies and small toddlers cow's milk. Cow's milk was designed for cows, for baby cows. It wasn't designed for humans, you know? So, anyway, I'm sure I'm going to get a bit of hate mail for that one, but there you go. You know, if you think about it, the last 100 years Our diet has been absolutely atrocious. And that's all it is, 100 years. I mean, now cancer rate, it's gone up. For 1 in 2 of us will actually get cancer. 1 in 2. How scary is that? Type 2 diabetes is just an epidemic. It's just ridiculously common. And it's getting worse. And I'm going to be doing a massive article about that soon because of World Diabetes Day coming up. But in less than 100 years, the human race has invented ways to destroy what it has took 3 billion years to create. How scary is that? 100 years. And we as a race have invented ways to destroy what 3 billion years has done to create it. It's like illnesses. I mean, we're just bombarded with drugs constantly. When you go to the doctors, you've got a cough, give you some drugs. We've got a headache, give you some drugs. They give you drugs for every single thing you go to the doctors for. But you think about it, when you go to the doctors, and you go with a headache is a symptom. A cough is a symptom. These are all symptoms. They are not diseases. And a symptom is telling you that there's something wrong with your body. But we don't try and resolve that. What we do, we just take drugs to mask the symptoms. And that's it. You don't look any further. And what are drugs? It's toxic, isn't it? The toxins. And a lot of drugs these days, in fact, most of them, the side effects are probably just as bad as the thing that you're taking them for. It's like with a cough. It's your body's way of getting rid of stuff from your chest. So if you take cough medicine, you're suppressing what your body's actually trying to do naturally to heal. And again, it's the same other things. You keep masking the symptoms of headaches, and basically the headache is telling you there's something wrong with your body. Possibly you're putting the wrong kind of shit into it for a start. People have breakdowns. So what do? They give you tablets. But all that is your body telling you that you need a break. You're doing too much. You're doing wrong things with your body. You're just too stressed. It's a symptom. To be honest, I mean, in fact, the human body is the most efficient survival machine on this planet. Every natural instinctive function we possess is designed to ensure that we survive, whether we like it or not. And the most powerful weapon that we possess to fight disease is our immune system. When we remove the symptoms of a disease without removing the cause, we also remove the signals to our brains that would have triggered off that incredibly powerful immune system. I mean, I'm not knocking modern civilization. I wouldn't want to live in a mud hut surrounded by a swamp. But a log cabin beside a lake of unpolluted clear blue water, teeming with fish and surrounded by a natural environment abundant with wildlife, yeah, I'll go for that one. I mean, there's no doubt mankind has made tremendous advances in communicating knowledge and in obtaining and storing food. But what good does it do us if the knowledge being communicated and the food being provided and stored is harmful to us? If our civilization is so successful, why, when the natural instinct of all creatures is to survive, are we the only species to make our lives so miserable that many of us commit suicide? Suicide is unknown in the animal kingdoms. What about lemons? I hear you say, yeah, but there is no evidence that lemons deliberately jump off cliffs to commit suicide, any more than whales deliberately get stranded on beaches. We also happen to be the only species that has learned to cry. What about crocodiles? Crocodile tears are false tears. The human body is truly an incredible machine, but however incredible it might be, it has a serious flaw, and we need to understand that flaw in this incredible machine of ours. The basic difference between humans and other species is that lives of wild animals are dominated by their instincts. We also have the advantage of having instincts. However, we are the additional advantage of having intelligence. And when our instinct and our logic are in conflict, we are able to use our superior intelligence to overrule our instincts. And this is the flaw in this amazing human machine of ours. It's been our undoing. Unless we quickly learn from our mistakes, it will lead not only to the destruction of our own species, but to the destruction of all life on this planet. I know this all sounds a bit heavy, but I seriously think it's time that we all stopped and thought about a lot of things. We also don't understand the reason for our instinctive actions, and because our logical actions are based on intelligent deductions, whenever our instincts and our intelligence contradict each other, we find it logical to back our intelligence. We kind of tend to think about instinct as a bit of a hit and miss affair, and it isn't. It's the result of 3 billion years of experimentation, not of theories, but of actual trial and error. When you think about it, I mean, birds have learnt how to build complicated nests, and spiders to spin intricate webs. Instinct enables all creatures to breed, feed, and to know the difference between food and poison. We need to start using our intelligence to improve our lives, and not just ours, but the lives of other people. Don't make a misery of them and destroy them. The important point that I'm trying to make badly is not that you shouldn't use your intelligence, but that whenever your intelligence is in conflict with your instinct, it would be illogical to contradict your instinct. No matter how great the achievement of mankind, we are less than the lowliest of ants compared to the miracle of Mother Nature. I'm not implying that all doctors and nutritionists are fools, not at all. Nothing could be further from the truth. On my journey this year, I've met some amazing professionals, professors, dietitians and doctors. And it's helped me. It's helped give me knowledge, which I've used to change my life around. The one thing I did learn this year from my time on the Fast Fix is the amount of doctors that don't understand the diabetic process and how diet can change it. Well, I know they know that, but not fully to the extent that we learnt this year. And I've been to the doctor several times this year and talked about things with the doctor, and they just kind of stopped and just listened. They were kind of a bit dumbstruck as to how much knowledge we'd kind of picked up this year. And that's a little bit scary to see. It's like the more they learn, the more you realise how little they know. So if they act on their incomplete knowledge without understanding the full effects of their actions, they are the equivalent of a pet monkey trying to repair your car. Doctors are human at the end of the day. They're not superhuman. And I fully accept that they understand a lot more than you or I do, and about the functioning of the human body. I just think that all this advice, taking this pill, that pill, I just think it contradicts the advice of Mother Nature, and no matter how eminent or qualified that person might be, you need to ignore it. You need to listen to your body. You need to provide it the care that it was always meant to have. The insecticides and chemicals that are going into the food chain, they cannot be helping our bodies at all. And a lot of people just walk around thinking they're immune to the effects of these chemicals. So why is it we've all of a sudden shot up to 1 in 2 people getting cancer? Why do we seem to just live our lives day to day oblivious to the effects of what we daily put into our stomachs? Yep, I know, we know certain foods are better for others than others. I mean, that's common sense. Some people are allergic to certain foods, and that seems to be on the increase. But it's like saying, hence one man's food is another man's poison. But it's not as simple as that. I mean, when animals have a sufficient supply of their favourite foods, as an example, like wild animals, they don't suffer from constipation, diarrhoea, heartburn, indigestion, ulcers, irritable bowel syndrome, high blood pressure, high cholesterol levels, disease of the stomach, kidneys, liver and bowels. Have you ever heard of a tiger needing false teeth, an hearing aid or glasses, a toupee, a pacemaker? Do they need dialysis for their kidneys? Do they die from strokes, heart disease? Because they're eating the proper foods. So these diseases surely are a direct result of what we eat. I'm not an expert, and I don't pretend to be, because to me this all seems to be common sense. We just choose to ignore it. We just need to stop being brainwashed by human experts and commercial interests. We just need to have the courage and imagination to open our minds, remove them blinkers, reverse that brainwashing, and eat the way we are supposed to eat. I think, to be honest, it's wrong to select a weight that you wish you were, or what you want to be, what you're attaining to. I think you should really focus on what is the best weight for you. You will know what the best weight for you is. You will feel it. When you start feeling healthy and fit and have more energy and better sleep patterns and all these other things, then you kind of know that you're at the right place. So it's not about being, I've got to be 10 stone 9 or, any other number. You've just got to be the best weight for you and your body. I mean, you can tell from your clothes if you're overweight or not. If they're no longer fitting, if they make you uncomfortable, if they're digging in your stomach when you do the button up, then you need to lose some weight. But by having a preconceived ideal weight, what you're doing is letting the tail wag the dog and creating needless obstacles. If you can stand in your underwear in front of the mirror and like what you see, then you're at your ideal weight. Doesn't matter what number it is. So for anybody starting out today on their diet, don't start it off with a preconceived target weight. I know that goes against everything that a lot of people say, but you just want to be a better, healthier, leaner version of yourself. And when you get to that stage, you will know it. And none of us have perfect bodies. We all come in different shapes and sizes. If you get that thought out of your head about what weight you want to be, that exact weight, if you just forget all that, that's a third of your problem disappeared already. So it's one thing that you just do not have to worry about. And I said this last week. When you start off on this weight loss journey, start off with a feeling of excitement and elation. It doesn't mean you need to throw the scales away, because that is a vital part of losing weight. You need to be able to see that you are losing weight. But remember, you can't look like you did 20 years ago. Some bits get floppy. We've all got these floppy bits. You might be able to tighten up a little bit, but you're not going to look 18 again. There is another wonderful advantage of not having a preconceived weight, which is not so obvious. If you have a preconceived weight, you feel that you haven't achieved your object until you get down to that weight. But you need to think of it, you're not on a diet as such. You're just changing your eating habits. So once you've kind of planted them seeds, you've kind of done all you need to do in that way. You don't need to sit around waiting for the grass to grow. The moment you start doing it, you've kind of already solved the problem. You just need to keep doing it. You can get on enjoying your life, knowing that just by starting this diet, you've already solved your weight problem. Your scales, your mirror, your clothes, all will be added incentives. Now, assuming that you have the common sense to see the validity of not burdening yourself with a hypothetical preconceived target weight, you are in the happy position of only having to deal with the remaining two other factors that enter into the equation: intake and disposal. Intake is the volume and type of food that we consume, and disposal is the rate at which we burn energy and dispose of waste. So I'll talk a little bit about that next week. So sorry for waffling. I am a bit of a bugger for it, and I probably went off track quite a bit there. So I'm hoping that some of it's made sense at least. Probably not a lot actually, but I think I should definitely make some notes for you for next week before I start waffling on. So I hope you have a fantastic week. Any problems or any questions, you can contact me via the blog or by traceywardme@gmail.com, and Tracey with an E. So keep up the good work, stay focused, one day at a time. All right, and I shall talk to you next week.